What up, familia? It's your favorite Puerto Rican Brooklyn Philly, and I'm back with another message. This one is very interesting. I'm gonna jump right in because it comes with like a little bit not with some background channeling, and I almost said challenging. What I heard was moving strategically and silently. Don't drop the low, as in location, and plotting, snitching, and blitzing. Plotting, snitching, and blitzing. Earlier, during my lunch hours, I was handling some BI where I was moving strategically, right? And I was plotting on how to move forward in a certain situation that I'm currently encountering. Having to do with my paper, interestingly enough. So that may be relevant for somebody. And in the midst of my travels, I became aware of a cop. So I made a U-turn. Then I saw the cop made a U-turn prior to my U-turn. So I'm thinking, oh crap, they're about to stop me. He saw me make the U-turn and they're about to stop me. So then I pulled into the middle of the median to park and, jump out and run to the pharmacy real quick, to kind of throw him off my tail. Like, crap, you caught me doing the U-turn. So I thought the cop had identified me and was trying to give me a ticket. When I made the UE, there was a red light. As I made the UE, I caught him out my peripheral view. When I made the full UE and was stopped at the light, several cars were in front of me. That's when I noticed that he too had made the U-turn and was waiting in the median the following block. That's when I became nervous. I didn't want no ticket. So I pulled over into the median to jump out. As I pulled over into the median to jump out and I jumped out the car, the light changes. 2 lanes over and like 3 cars back. When the 3rd car over gets into the peripheral view of the cop that had made a U-turn, as he started moving from that intersection, a car from behind them, cop car, started coming, like blaring their sirens. The cop car that had made the U-turn intersects the first lane to get behind this specific black vehicle as well. And then several cop cars coming in the opposite direction. So they barricaded him or her. I didn't get to see because it was like the block up and then halfway up the block. And it hit me hard. Well, one, it was like, ooh, well, it wasn't for me, right? But then the way it went down, it was like surreal. It felt very movie-like, very intentional, and in my experience with such operations, I was about to say such moves, it has to do typically with the individual bought from an undercover and currently has the paraphernalia that was copped on said possession, which is already like tagged and marked. So they need to stop him or her because that's what would hold up in court. Or the person has been wanted, or for another like more offensive thing. There's no way in the world they're going to barricade this one car that way and then multiple officers are going to come on the scene if it's just a regular routine traffic stop, right? So that left an impression, and Spirit said, pay attention. There's a message in there, right? Meaning that I would be doing this message later on, and that scenario that I witnessed would be prevalent somehow. And also, I then heard, don't drop the low, right? Because, again, for them to target this vehicle, somebody snitched. That's why I think, the part of their channel was plotting, snitching, and blitzing. And blitzing, like they overwhelmed them, right? Blitzing, like blitz and slang, but also blitzing like in football, right? That's when a whole bunch of defenders, right? I think it's defenders, yeah, come and attack the quarterback at one time. There's a sense of overwhelming, like disorienting the party that they're targeting. So it was definitely so that this person, this individual, couldn't run, couldn't get away. He was very much targeted, right? I'm hearing he was on the hit list, or she. And so somebody plotted, somebody snitched, and then the blitz occurred. So it's very important at this time, those who are listening to this message, it's not a coincidence that you're being told, and I'm hearing now real G's move in silence, but that moving strategically and silently in the next couple of days, in the next week or so, is going to be imperative, and very instrumental or detrimental, I'm even hearing, and very important for you as the viewer, right? In whatever situation you may found yourself in. It may be in a love relationship, right? It may be some information, some deets I'm hearing, some that you need not be revealing to other people, maybe about your relationship, something. I mean, it can be very much related to career moves, something on the job. If you're about to, yeah, that's confirmation. If you're about to, float a different way, I'm hearing whatever move you're about to make, you need to move strategically and silently, right? And then I got the song by Beanie Siegel, where he says, are you catching the lines and the hooks, or are you still fishing, right? And then the title to this song is "I Can't Go On This Way." You listen to that song, right? Because then I started going in on it, right? There was messages flowing through that for me personally in my specific situation. So the cards that flew out is adaptability, and this person is in the winter, right? Is in the cold. So yeah, you might have been left out in the cold, or currently you might find yourself in a situation where even others may feel, they have left you out in the cold, right? And this person, when you are left out in the cold in such a situation, I mean, you're left very vulnerable, very exposed, right? This person is this fox, I believe is, we're going to call it a fox for right now. Is feeling this blizzard, right? This storm, this snowstorm, right? The snow is cold and it's out there. The trees are barren, right? So you might find yourself, and then look, yeah, 8, blame, right? You may have, I don't know, right? This car, was he falsely being accused, right? Because they're saying blame. I'm hearing the blame game, right? But this is the 8, which is blame, which also would be like the 8 of swords, right? Which would be feeling stuck. But this one seems a little more, because the one where it's like the 8 of swords, right? The person thinks that they're stuck and they're not. This one feels like, nah, right? Because the prison shirt, the black and white is on, and yeah, there was cops, it was popo. These people, this situation is very intentionally leaving you, or attempting to leave you out in the cold and to lock you up. I just heard, I'm locked up, they won't let me out, right? They're trying to confine you in some way, shape, or form, right? Whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, or all the fuck above, I just heard, right? But there is something, right? Because then I get this one, the unknowable, which would be the high priestess. Is that a 2? Yeah. Right? Which is beautiful, because I'm hearing it's a double-edged sword, interestingly enough, with the 2 there, because you as the viewer, my collective, you have the inside scoop, right? You know that they plotting and snitching, right? And that they're going to blitz whenever, the minute that they get a chance. Because there's something about, so, not to, make this reading about me, not that I've given an F in the past like that, because the message is going to come out whatever, it is what it is. But for me, I am getting foresight and insight into a situation that is set up for me later on in the week. And I've been forewarned, and I've gotten a bigger scope picture of it. And as a result, I'm moving accordingly. Hence my reason for my lunch break today, moving the way I was moving. And then I believe peeping what I peeped, right? Spirit is so good. My ancestors is just chef's kiss. That's what I just heard. I love them dearly, right? You know, I just heard your ancestor fucks with you too, right? You they boo. You they ace boom coon, I just heard, right? This is why you listening to this message right now. They want you to peep game. They want you to be on point, right? They want you to trust your intuition, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm hearing Maya Angelou. Thank you, sister. May you rest in peace. Ashe. I'm hearing when people show you who they are the first time, fucking believe them, right? Right now I'm hearing ninjas exposing their hands for free. That's Moneybag Yo. And I just looked at my wrist. I got time today. Effing, I'm crossing the line today. And then that's that part, the chorus where he said, we could get gangster, we could keep it cordial, how you want to go about it, right? Yes, it's like move accordingly, right? That's the moving strategically, but then very much silently, right? No guns are blazing, no warning shots, nothing. Calladita, tranquila, I'm hearing, right? But also the unknowable is a double-edged sword, because what I'm also hearing is they don't know, man. Somebody accent ancestor just popped up on the scene. I just said pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing, right? They said they don't know, man. And then I'm hearing that little corny joke that this Puerto Rican comedian said one day. They said, man, I know Puerto Rican judo. And that person was like, well, what's Puerto Rican judo? You don't know if I got a gun. You don't know if I got a knife. You don't know what I got, man, right? And that's just it. These individuals that are praying for your downfall, that are plotting and snitching and attempting to set up a scenario in such a way to blitz on you so that you are overwhelmed, right? They don't know that you know, right? They don't know that you know the unknowable. And the thing is, they think they know. They think they done set it all up. They think we got you. Got him trapped. Got him. I heard. And the joke's on them. It's like the got him for you is really your ancestors and spirits saying is the got him on them, and they don't even know it yet. That's what's bananas. That's what not just bananas, right? It's gonna be bananas for them, but it's beautiful for you, beloved, right? Look at this heartbreak, right? And again, even the heartbreak I'm hearing spirit say is double edged, right? Because I believe I'm speaking to a collective that doesn't want to move in this way, right? Doesn't want to be placed or feel like they need to be placed in situations like this, right? And for some of you, right, this is some real life shit, life where people, if it's at your job, that means they effing with your livelihood. If it's in your relationship, that means they messing with your heart, literally. Like, whatever the situation may be, right, it has impacted you, right? I'm hearing it has affected you, right? You're human, right? So it's not that, you've been counted out or you're devastated, right? Or it like blew up your whole world. But it has caused some heartbreak. It has caused some uncomfortability. But now I'm hearing that's the purpose, right? Because, interestingly enough, is sometimes it is those uncomfortable moments, right? I'm hearing that I'm trying to think of like what deck they want me to use now. That okay, I hear you, spirit. That causes you to break out and make certain changes, right? So let's say if it is in a relationship, maybe you wouldn't have left that relationship, or maybe if it is somebody trying to do that to your relationship, maybe you wouldn't have protected it the way you're about to, and you wouldn't move strategically and silent the way you are unless this kind of situation had occurred. If it is at a job, right, that is trying to, maybe you would stay, and because so there's something about although it may not feel good at this time, right? Although it may even, to some degree, right, it can possibly be said that it's unfair, right? That is some like downright BS shenanigans. But I'm hearing there's a method to the madness, right? Um, that even when someone sets up your downfall, it's interesting how, now I'm hearing that song, pray and pray for my downfall, right? That they inadvertently set you up for your greatest success. In plotting for your failure, they literally cause your level up. The irony to fucking that. How about that? Right? So that's what I heard. That's what I had heard. Allegedly, I'm hearing, right? Allegedly. And I'm hearing, what's that? 15 minutes. The timer could stop right there. Like, if you don't get shit else out this message, I'm hearing I just dropped the low on everything. Spirit did, not me. Just dropped the low on everything you needed to hear at this time, right? And again, don't take this on if it isn't. Well, first of all, I don't believe you're here by coincidence. So I don't even know why I said that, but because maybe there's some doubt, right? No need to doubt. If you're listening to this is for you. But this would be confirmation, right? You already had been feeling some little niggling going on, right? Letting you know, something ain't right about this. Your handshake ain't matching your smile. I don't feel right about this next move, this situation, this job, this place, this community, this ninja, this chick, this whatever it may be. Something been, and that's another thing I heard. I heard the comedian, so a lot of comedians. So maybe a clue for you is maybe this person acts like a comedian, right? Or, they come acting like they, Mr. Jokey Jokes, always with the jokey jokes. That might be the culprit right there. But I'm hearing, not Martin Lawrence. I'm watching Martin. Well, Martin's on the background in the TV. Is one of my ways to decompress. I love that Martin show. And he's currently at the ashram, right, where he goes and he leaves because he loses the job, trying to find himself, right? And that's something that I'm hearing. Look at the card that just came out, let it go. For some of you, you are walking away from a specific community, from a specific family, maybe from a specific job, where it's then leaving you like, well, who, like as Martin is asking right now in this episode, well, who am I? What do I do? Because the scene right before I muted it, and started shuffling and writing down my channel messages. It was when him and Sean are at the radio station after Stan already sold the radio station to the cowboy, and now the radio station, Sean is just going in and switching the track every 8 hours. All the DJs are gone. And Martin, he's like, what you doing here, Martin? He's like, yeah, I was just walking about thinking, and I wound up here. He said, funny how I wound up right back where I started. And Sean said, well, sometimes, you got to be, because he said, do you have a plan, Martin? And Martin was like, nah, I ain't got no plan. I don't flow like that. I just flow, whatever. And Sean, right, not always being the brightest one in the crowd, but said something very powerful. Well, if you're not planning, right, now I'm hearing failure to plan is planning to fail, then you're not, you can find yourself in a rut. And Martin, debates him by saying, or refutes that statement by saying, well, I make things happen or whatever. Remember when I went and seen Jodeci? And he said, yeah, but you wound up back here. Oh, well, remember when I turned the night show into, and I went out? He said, showing, yeah, but you wind up here. Something about you keep revolving back to the same, doubling back to the same place. And finally, maybe this is time to let it go. Right? Let it go for good. And those are balloons, right? Heart balloons. It's interesting, right? Because I just had heard that, this is the Heartbreak Hotel, right? I don't know, but, yeah, the Heartbreak Hotel. A hotel, you keep visiting this hotel, right? Whether you're breaking your heart through a job, whether you're breaking your heart with a family member, friend, family, foe, lover, whatever, right? It's something about circling back around what becomes comfortable and familiar, right? And it says here, releasing grudges, emotional freedom, forgiving yourself and others. Free your heart, beloved. That's what I just heard it like that. Free your heart, beloved. Right? Free your heart, beloved. And then Sneaky Link wanted to show itself. Right? It came out under that. But I don't know if I'm meant to keep it. But there is definitely some sneaking around happening, right? Fuck it, let's keep it, right? There is some sneakiness, right? Because, again, these people are plotting, right? Whoever it is, there is a plot amiss, I'm hearing, right? And people are sneaky linking. There's sneaky links occurring behind your back because these people are in cahoots with one another to come against you, right? But I'm hearing but the one. And I just heard they fucking with the right one. Right? They, again, whoever this individual is, they believe you're by yourself. They believe, right, that, it's kind of like the defense that's going to blitz, right? The quarterback is just one. They're the whole defense, right? So they feel cocky that their numbers is what's going to outmaneuver the situation or outwit the situation or something. And I'm hearing nah. Now I'm hearing that scripture, though 1,000 encamp all around me, they will fall by my wayside, something like that. I'm messing the scripture all up. But there's something about, now I'm hearing about, what's that other army where it was only 300 of the men and it was like 1,000 of the other army, and they were I can't say these things on but they lost the thousands, by the wayside. They went. Then now they're reminding me of another one where Moses, right? Is it Abraham or Moses? It's Moses, because Moses. All right, don't get caught up in that, Marilyn. Moses, where his hand, when the Spirit told him keep your hands up, right? And as long as you keep your hands up, your fighters will win. But the minute but when at some point his hands got tired, and when his hands started going down, the army started losing. And there was something about, I believe, Aaron, his brother, or somebody came and raised his hands. And the minute they raised his hands again, then the Israelite army started winning again. There's something about praising. There's something about staying in faith. There's something about giving gratitude in the midst of the storm, right? When you don't see a way out, right? When you don't, when you're test, I'm hearing this is real faith, right? Faith is a believing in things things not seen, right? Like, it wouldn't require faith if you knew what the outcome was, or if you could see the outcome. Then what would be the faith for? No, faith is when it's the unknowable, right? And look at what I heard. Recharge, baby. They got you fucked up. Yes. This is going to be not only are you going to be victorious over this, meaning their plot is not going to work, but you're about to recharge on a whole nother level. And your comeback, it says it right there. Screenshot this if you need this. Is the camera picking it up? No, yes. Not a good job of it. Bottom line, it says comeback is stronger. Now I'm hearing they repping Philly, right, with Beanie, and now Core, Kur, right, from Philly. It's all about the comeback, right? When he raps to us that it's all about the comeback, right? We all got highs and lows. We all, can fall at any point given time, but it's all about the comeback, right? Don't stay focused on what, because I'm hearing that's what your enemies are doing wrong, right? That's what I just had heard. I heard that's where they slipping at, right? They're swearing that this situation because it looks like you're all out there in a cold, barren, and fucked up by yourself. And it looks like they got you nice and I'm locked up. They were locked up and shit. They think that they won. And it's confirmation. La. Confirmation again, excuse me. That's Arabic for no. La. They're wrong. They and Love Bomb came out, right? I'm getting a couple of things, right? One, it's very possible that once you let go and recharge, mother effers are going to try to come back love bombing you, right? But it's fake. I'm hearing it's fake as F, right? Overwhelming charm, right? Again, blitzing, right? And for some of you, that may be part of the plot and the plan, right? But then, initially, they were trying to blitz you by leaving you here in the cold. Then they now going to try to blitz you this way, right? There's something, and that fell over the let go with just 3 hearts. You letting go. And now, once you let go, here they are with all of these, I'm hearing fake. It's fake, though. It's fake, right? Love bombing, and we know, we understand it. I haven't heard it in any positive way, but my understanding, my limited understanding of it too, I'll admit, is that it's toxic. That if somebody comes in too quick, too intense, all on your real, every day, all day, that's a signal, a red flag for something that no bueno, right? Self-Care Sunday came out. Prioritizing rest, recharge emotionally, recharge emotionally, pampering yourself, and me time matters. Yeah, there's something about she's carefree, right? She seems so unbothered to all of this love bombing. So even after, because remember, right prior to this love bomb card, recharge came out. Now they're saying, when I did pick it up, it was in the reverse, right? So maybe that's significant as well, right? That while you're recharging, don't worry about any of these like love messages or people trying to, come in with any type of intense affection or quick, maybe even you, like, right, once you are in this recharge mode, relax with all of that, right? And prioritize yourself, right? Me time matters. Pamper yourself, right? Because for some of you, it is a relationship, right? So if you stop this and you let go of that, it's okay. Now, all that means is you have now time to reflect on yourself, to give you the time that maybe that you were giving. And that's a possibility now. I hear you now, Spirit, because it was throwing me off a little bit. So I'm talking to a collective who possibly love bombed others. And what I mean, not in a negative way. And for some, it was negative because the love bombing possibly was as a result of an inner wound that thinks that that's how love is supposed to be, where you're giving yourself so much of yourself, right, to the other. Whether it's the other person, the other family member, the other friend, the job, whatever, at the neglect of yourself, right? And maybe this is exactly what you will be working on and need to work on if you haven't already during this recharge time, so that, again, just like this recharge indicates, you'll come back in full force, right? Flexing. And I just heard bag secured. So for whoever this relates to particularly, and I'm going to say it both, right? Because sometimes we're in relationships, and when we separate from these relationships, whether it's friend or family, it can impact our finances, or we can sometimes hold on to things because of our sense of security, particularly our financial security, right? I dislike this job. I know they're treating me wrong. I know they're plotting against me, right? And doing all this F-ish behind my back, even for a lover. But yet, financially, I don't feel I'm able to be safe and secure, right? Without the job, without the help of the mother, the father, the brother, the sister, whoever the family member may be, or without the lover. So what I'm hearing here is that no, literally love bomb yourself instead of others. Self-care Sunday, recharge and take care of yourself. Me time is of top, you're the number one priority right now. And don't worry, the bag is secured. I'm here. I will provide all of your needs, right? I just heard that. Achieving goals, mission accomplished, financial stability, got it locked. Like, and I'm not here to tell anybody to do anything foolish. One of the very first cards that came out is trust your intuition, right? You'll know how to move and when to move. You know what I'm saying? When I move, you move, just like that, right? So, only you know your situation. I'm a reader, channeling the messages, interpreting the cards, but I don't know your life personally. This isn't a personal reading. This is a collective reading, right? So there's several individuals, listening to this message. Self-made. For some of you, again, if it's for you to separate from this job or this relationship, is because you have everything that it takes to start and establish yourself, right? Either in another career, another job, or your own, right? Where you're your own boss. I'm careful with that because, entrepreneurship is real, right? Because now I don't have this fixed check that's going to come to me every week or every 2 weeks. I have to hustle and bustle to make sure that I'm going to eat if I'm an entrepreneur. Now things that I would have at a job like medical benefits, dental and vision and all that, now I have to pay out of pocket for that. So there's some realities to that, right? So I'm not here to BS anybody or sugarcoat anything. However, there are many of people, and we do live in a day and age, I'm hearing, where now like I'm about to blow up, right? Like where people blow up all the time. I mean, now they're reminding me of Martin again in that episode. Yeah, he lost the job with the radio station or whatever. But spoiler alert, if you don't know, Martin winds up doing a video and working as a like the coffee guy at a producing studio station, and winds up being the talk show host. So he goes from DJ, right, to talk show host. He goes from DJ behind a mic where people couldn't see him but can only hear him, and now he goes to a whole nother platform. I'm hearing frequency, the airwaves, right? And you are about to blow up. Like this can happen for you as well, right? And for some on a massive scale, and some on a more local, right? It depends, right? But it says overcoming odds, creating your own path, built from nothing, baby, right? Built from nothing. Two more, spirit, because we're about 33, 31 when I just said that. Said, what's that guy said? What's the tea? Did you hear? That's how people gonna be like, yo, did you hear? Right? Because people are like, gossip is real, right? First, the gossip is gonna be like, yeah, she don't work over there no more, right? That they let her go or she quit. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but this is what I'm hearing, right? But then it's like, yeah, but did you know she built her own thing now, man? Now she, it's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. But closure, look at this. Oh, this person is smiling, right? You're going to feel so good. Again, letting go. It goes right back to this other card. Let it go. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Let that shit go. Que será, será. So what these people, these fools, this ignorance, occurred, right? And it's not so what, like, you're not, it's like forgive, don't forget, but forgive. You got to let it go for yourself, right? Forgiveness is for yourself. 100%, not just necessarily always for the other person, right? It has to start with you, I'm hearing. But closure, it helps you to end these chapters emotionally, and then look, you finally feel free, right? Because there was something about, right, I'm hearing, if for some of you this relationship or this job made you feel trapped and out in the cold anyway, anyway, even if nobody was plotting and snitching, you were feeling about that situation that way anyway. So all this did was aided your way out, speeded it up a little bit, or assisted you to do something that you deep down inside wanted to do anyway, but maybe had fear or, trepidation, like I said, particularly if it had to do with finances. But this is providing closure, right? One more, Spirit, please and thank you. This is dope, right? And again, stuff like this don't always feel great. Look, I can't make this issue. Ascension, baby, right? You're ascending, right? Once you close out this chapter, then you can ascend to the next, right? That's just the way it goes. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. It goes, it goes. That's the way love goes. Okay, sorry. Spiritual growth, higher awareness, next level consciousness, elevating myself, right? Come on now. I'm here, mic drop. You can't, you know what I'm saying, get any sweet or any better than this, right? It is about this spiritual growth. It is about this higher awareness. It is about having this next level consciousness. Again, and don't sleep on it, right? At minimum, you're recognizing who you are. You're becoming and I'm hearing an avid advocate of your own authenticity, what you want out of life, right? Because Martin had to go to the little, whatever, to figure out who he was and what he wanted, right? Is providing you with closure with old chapters that you just don't fit into anymore. It's not about being better than nobody. It's just that's not your world no more, right? That is a sense of elevating yourself. That is a form of ascension, of spiritual growth and elevation, right? Hey, that's what I just had heard, right? And that's the message, beloved. I feel really good about the message, what was shared. I wanted to kind of close out with some kind of affirmation. I'm hearing these cards only because for some of you that it does have to do, I'm hearing just a little bit of reassurance when it comes down to the moolah, the chavos, and right? Because when we let go of something, sometimes we're fearful of letting it go because we think, we're not going to find better or we're not going to find something. And I'm hearing that's a lie. That's a lie, right? So let's do one card to close this out. And thank you, Spirit. Thank you, my ancestors, for such a beautiful message. Thank you for such confirmation. Gift. What better way to get out? To move on from this message. And yeah, I'm here. Screenshot this, beloved, if you need to. Right? Look at this. Gift. You're being gifted, and this is from the universe, right? And it's like your higher self gifting it to yourself, right? The Father and I are one. The Mother and I are one. I am one, right, with divinity. Divinity in me acknowledges the divinity. We are one. The la ilaha illallah, right? Oneness, right? So full circle back to self, right? But this is this gift. And it says, you will discover new talents that will lead to new opportunities, beloved. Use opportunities that arise. The opportunities will arise, Do not have that scarcity mindset. That's what these people want, right? For you to stay in this scarcity mindset. But no, you became adaptable. It fucked they head up, right? Right? You didn't stay right in this. That's why you forgave, right, with the blame game and all of that, right? No, you moved differently, right? You was raised different, right? And that's it, beloved. I just want to thank again my spirit guides, my ancestors, and the one, right, for this beautiful message. I know that if you stayed this long, is because it was beneficial to you. If you liked the message and it resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and I would love to read any comments that you may have. As always, I find it an honor to read for this community. I'm so grateful, and I look forward to our next encounter. Until next time, beloved. Amen, amen, and ashe.